Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with a video.
My father-in-law is the most major problem I had faced in my married life. It's been 3 years since I've been married, and this man has never skipped a chance to mess things up for us. I and my husband were colleagues when we got to know each other, and we both started dating soon afterward. My father-in-law has been a single parent, so it's understandable that he is a bit controlling and possessive in the case of his son. He wants everything according to him, and if it is not, he is always up for some drama. I and my husband decided to take our time to think about marriage while we were dating, as we did not want to rush things. But when my father-in-law came to know about our relationship, he told his son that he could either marry me or dump me because he would not let him waste his time and efforts in a relationship. I was a bit surprised as to how could someone put limits on the other who is already independent. We were put under this pressure, so we had to choose marriage and get married as soon as possible. After getting married, I faced severe criticism from my father-in-law. He would talk about my family, my lifestyle, my dressing, and literally every little move. He used to say that I was not cultured enough and that he could find a better fit for his son. I obviously would get hurt, but my husband was always there and told me to ignore whatever my father-in-law would say. I used to discuss day and night about moving out, as it was getting unbearable to live in that house under continuous supervision. My husband was a bit worried, as if we moved out, my father-in-law would be left alone. But our married life was being affected daily, so he had to take the decision and moved out. My father-in-law, as expected, could not digest the fact that we both decided on something on our own without his directions and created a huge drama. He told us that it was better if we had left him in an old age home than leaving him alone there. He would remind my husband of all the efforts he had put in bringing him up, but we had no other option. We moved out and things got much better. We were at last able to live our lives on our own terms without any pressure. My father-in-law would call daily and we would talk to him and share how our day went and how things were. I guess this distance was very necessary for the three of us. So one day my father-in-law called and asked what we guys had planned about a family. I was a bit surprised and told him that we were settling down yet and did not think about it. My husband also told him that it was not our concern yet, and whenever we planned to start a family, we would inform him. As I expected, that old man made an issue out of it and said that we were supposed to have kids as soon as possible. My husband tried his best to convince him, but he was not ready to listen to anything and asked if we were waiting for him to die, and then we would start a family. He did not talk to us for many days afterwards. My husband suggested a visit to him so we could sort things out. We waited for the weekend and went to see him. He did not greet us well or talk normally, and we were really nervous to start a conversation as that old man would literally explode. We waited till the dinner so we might discuss it at dinner table. While dining, my husband very politely started by saying that we needed time to settle down and manage our lives first, and then would think about starting a family as soon as possible. To which he replied that we did not respect him or what he said and wanted to throw him out of our lives because we were sick of him. My husband tried to make him understand when he got up, took my car keys, and left the house. We went after him to the garage, but he drove off, yelling in anger. My husband says that he will return by tomorrow as there is no place he could stay for long, but I am literally pissed off. It's the 4th day, and my father-in-law is still ghosting us. We were stuck at his home and could not get back to ours. Let me be clear that he lives on the outskirts of the city, or let us say that it's a small town very close to the city. We booked a cab with great difficulty as we had to go to our office the next day. We waited for the whole day for him to return, tried to call him several times, but could not contact him. So we came back to our place. My husband is very worried and says that his dad has never gone away like that. We cannot think of any place or relatives he could have gone to. His phone number is turned off, and my husband feels like we should report it to the police. We're facing a lot of difficulty in moving around the city as my car is with him and he's just lost. I have asked my husband to ask the police to trace down the car and see where it is exactly. Once we will be able to find the car, we will ultimately find his father. My husband argued, saying that I was only worried about the car and never cared about his father. He blamed our marriage for being responsible for his wrecked relationship with his father. I could understand his reaction, as he was very worried about his father. He has always been very close and caring towards his father, and I wish his father was also like that. But my father-in-law only thought about himself. I'll keep you guys updated. My husband filed a complaint yesterday, and today in the morning we received a call from my father-in-law who said that he had gone to his cousin's and would return in a week or so. He also told us that he was so angry and disappointed that he had to go somewhere far off to freshen up his mind. He said that he would call us as soon as he would come back. I asked my husband if he knew about his dad's cousin to whom he had gone. My husband told me that my father-in-law's cousin lived about 500 miles away in a small town where he had a farm and fruit gardens. I said that he could have at least told us, so we might not get this worried and have already reported it to the police. My husband went to the police station before going to work to inform me that he had found his father. We both came back from work, and I told him how hectic it was for me to go out without my car, and my father-in-law could at least ask before taking away my car, to which my husband got angry and said that all I thought about was my car. He also said he had been going through hell knowing that his father was missing, but I cared about the car only. I was so pissed and fought back, saying that the only thing my father-in-law is doing since we are married was making our life a living hell. I told him that it was the worst decision to marry him under such pressure, just to end up being under pressure for the rest of my life. I told him that his father could not leave us alone or stop influencing our lives, but could at least let me use my car so I might go to the office peacefully, as my home had turned into a drama. My husband and his father are both unable to bear, and I guess I would just have to run away. A week passed, and my father-in-law had still not come back. All I cared about was my car, as I needed it a lot, and also it was my car, and I could claim it rightly. I called my father-in-law and asked when he was coming back, to which he replied that whenever he would feel like it, he would return. I told him that I never cared where he was or when he was coming back, but at least he could come back and hand over my car to me and then go wherever he felt like going. He called me a bitch and told me that it was my real face which I had just revealed, as I never cared for him and only wanted to steal his son from him. I told him that he could keep his son and do whatever suited him, but could at least return my car. He asked me to shut up and cut the call. My husband came back from work, furious, and yelled at me, saying that I was a mean and dumb bitch who only cared for herself. I asked him why could I not claim my car, to which he replied that his dad would return the car and was not going to eat it up. I called my father-in-law and told him that if he did not come back in 2 days, I was going to file a report against him for stealing my car and running away. He told me that if I did anything like that, he would kick me out of his son's life once and for all. I replied that I did not even care to live with two maniacs who could not see a third person in their life. He also threatened me that he would call the police and complain against me for ill-treating him and blackmailing him for the car. My father-in-law told my husband about the recent call too, because he was enraged and told me that he was going to divorce me if I acted like that. I was so done that I instantly left the house to file a complaint against my father-in-law. I have filed a report against my father-in-law, so now let's see what he'll do and how he will justify his crazy actions. NTA. The OP reacted accordingly, as both of the men were amazingly stupid. She had to take a stand for her, as her husband was unable to keep a balance between his wife and father. The OP tried to cope up until the end and acted very passively, but the situation got worse and pushed her to act like a bitch. I do not think there is any need for her to stay with such psycho people, and if both of them could not bear a third person, why did that man marry OP? I hope OP does not give him a chance until he understands that he was wrong in so many ways and tries to mend his behavior. NTA. The OP's husband has to understand that his dad is not a kid who needs to be looked after. OP tried to deal with the situation as she moved into the house with her father-in-law after getting married, but was pushed to move out. The father-in-law still could not keep his ass out of the couple's personal life and acted like a mean a-hole. Stealing the car and ghosting them was just another level of pathetic behavior. OP's husband acted like a kid and never understood that he had to keep a balance. Leaving both of the men behind and moving out of this relationship is better for the OP in so many ways, as there is no hope for both of them to change. It's a father-like son type of scene.
Next story.
I, 35, female, have been married to my husband, 37, for 10 years and dated him for 2 years before that. He is a widower and came into the relationship with a 4-year-old daughter. I have been helping raise her for 12 years and consider her like my own daughter. She even calls me mom. She recently turned 16 and I wanted to do something special for my gift to her, so I gave her my necklace. It's a ruby and diamond necklace that belonged to my grandmother and has been passed down through 8 generations of the family. I'm the only girl among me and my siblings, so it went to me. She loved it, and there was some tears over the gift as she knew how important it was to my family and me. She will not be wearing it casually for anyone worried about that. It is for more dressy events and from when she is older. My brothers found out that I gave it to her and are angry with me. My older brother, 41, especially, feels like I had no right to do this, and if it was to go to anyone, it should have gone to one of his 3 daughters, as they are blood related to me, and it's their family heirloom. I've pointed out how I've been raising her for so many years, and she is my daughter in every way that matters, but he feels that this was one line that shouldn't have been crossed. I'm pissed off. I won't lie. So I've not been talking to him since he brought up those views. I've also told him to never repeat those kind of things around my daughter. My husband, not wanting to upset my family and avoid further fights, has suggested we start a new heirloom to pass down by buying her a beautiful necklace to replace the one I gave her. But I don't want to take it back. She has every right to it, I believe. FYI, I cannot have biological children, so brother likely assumed it should go to my nieces instead. Let's be honest, who cares about blood? Who is to say in 8 generations no cheating went on? NTA, it's a family heirloom, not a bloodline heirloom. I feel like people are so hung up on their family because they are blood related. I wouldn't consider my blood family to be my actual family anyways. My family is toxic and has no respect for me and treats me like trash. In my mind, that's not family. Family are the people who care about you, the people who are there for you, and the people you can count on. NTA, she is your daughter. You have loved her, raised her, been there for her, and you both seem to feel there is a parent-child bond. Your brother is in the wrong, and your husband, while he does have good intentions, is also in the wrong. It was given to you, and it was yours to pass along as you saw fit. You passed it on to your daughter. Her not being born from your body does not change that she is your daughter if that is how you see her. That is not something anyone but you and her get to determine.
Next story.
My 24-year-old sister-in-law, V, is blaming me for her divorce with my brother, 34. Some years ago, my brother got married to V. She was super nice and sweet to me. The problem started when I got pregnant. My sister announced her pregnancy before me, so when I announced my pregnancy, she was absolutely livid. She started saying that she didn't want to share a pregnancy with anyone else and how selfish I was. I told her that it wasn't all about her and left it at that. After that, she started doing things to act like the victim. For example, I told people my gender reveal date 1 month prior. V then decided she was going to have another gender reveal to make sure the baby's gender is exact, which was complete BS, but then got mad and threw a fit when my brother came to mine instead of hers. Another thing she did is, when I was in labor, she faked contractions so the attention could be off me. When my brother confronted her, she started crying and saying, "If you care about your sister so much, why didn't you marry her?" That was 3 months ago. Now, my brother and V are getting a divorce because he feels like she has been centering the pregnancy on me and not the actual baby. She didn't help in things like buy the baby clothes, a dresser, changing tables, or decorating the room prior to the baby's birth. Last night, she sent me a string of texts saying I am a bitch and insinuating that I am having sexual relationships with my brother. I'm actually fuming right now, but I want to make sure I'm not the a-hole if you end up retaliating. I didn't expect this to get all the attention it actually did, and thank you for all the advice and help. I did not retaliate or even send a text back. I have a folder of text messages that she sent that involves hurting me and my baby, showing me what it's like to lose someone I love, my baby, saying she went through all this trouble to get pregnant with his baby for me to make him divorce her, etc. I have sent the text to my brother and other family as well as hers. My brother is getting the folder on Monday. To be clear, my brother is not a selfish person or anything like that. When I said she didn't help with anything, she didn't even want to be involved with anything that involved a baby. She didn't even pick out a name that was my brother who did it. My brother was involved in the pregnancy, to be clear. He planned and paid for the gender reveal and baby shower that she didn't care about. That's why we called BS on the whole second gender reveal thing, because she didn't even want the first gender reveal. Why would she do a second one? She didn't plan on paying for BTW. Also, she admitted to the contractions being fake before. My brother and his girlfriend are also only 3 years apart. I'm the one who is 24, so please stop thinking my brother is dating someone 10 years younger than him. Laugh out loud. For the people saying she was acting like this because she was pregnant, she is not pregnant anymore. I'm sorry, I didn't make that more clear. My brother is planning on filing for full custody. He is hesitant because he's afraid to start a custody battle that will lead to V getting full custody. V doesn't believe in getting help or any therapy. Her family believes therapists are corrupted or something along the lines of that. Since this situation, I've realized that she has done things that stick out to me now. You are clearly NTA here, but your soon-to-be former sister-in-law needs help in a very real sense. The stuff she's doing is not normal and could be due to multiple issues that need to be looked into by a professional, in case it gets worse once her baby arrives. She might be a danger to herself and others. I am no expert here, of course. Please save the text she sent you, but don't retaliate. You might need those texts to help your brother get custody of his child and convince people that she needs help. However, do talk to your family about them ASAP.